Well, time now for another In the Legal Know. Today, attorney Vincent J. Russo is here to talk about inheritances, which something impacts just about everybody, many families. So, Vincent, thanks for joining us this morning.
My pleasure, and it's a bonus day for me. I came in this morning and Monsignor gave me ashes.
It's nice. It's nice to work
That's
here.
Right. Yes, so this is really significant.
Yeah.
$248 trillion is going to pass over the next 22 years.
Wow.
So due to the baby boomers getting older, and so the demographics and the economics and the value of assets these days, there's going to be an incredible amount of wealth passing on to families, individuals, and they're going to need to know how to handle it.
Yeah, well, let's talk some of the basics and really who is entitled to an inheritance.
Sure. So an inheritance is when you receive an asset or property from someone who passes away. All right. So that's an inheritance. Now, under the laws, you control who is going to receive those assets. So you're in total control. So you have a will and you say, I want to leave my assets to A, B, and C. All right. Children do not have a legal right to an inheritance if the parent has a will and leaves the assets. But if there's no will, then they have a right to those assets if there's no surviving spouse. So we get into what are called the intestacy laws. So basically, you control where the assets go and who gets them and when and which assets. And then if you don't have a will, then individuals may have rights then to that inheritance.
Okay. So when somebody receives an inheritance, let's talk about the first steps. What should they do?
Right. So it's going to be a process. So the first step really is to gather information. Is there a will? Is there a trust? Are there beneficiary designations that they need to be aware of, such as from a retirement account? So that's going to be step one. Two is identify who's going to be in charge of the estate. Is it going to be a spouse, a family member? So that would be the executor or the trustee. And then third, understand the timeline. It's not going to be like instantaneous. It's going to take time. It may be several months. It could be over a year before you receive those assets. So don't go out and spend them before you receive them. And because you may be disappointed you didn't get what you thought you were getting. And then it's a problem.
Very important point. Have you seen that? Like examples where people sort of rushed in?
Yeah, just the mistakes are made. For example, someone's going to receive an inheritance from a retirement account, but they don't realize when they take the money out of the retirement account, it's subject to income tax. So that would make no sense for them to rush off and liquidate that retirement account if they don't understand they got to put money away to pay the taxes. So that's a common mistake that people make. Or it just may not be the amount they thought they were receiving. I think I'm receiving $500,000, and then they find out they're only receiving $100,000.
Ruh-roh. Oh no.
Yes.
So don't rush in.
That's right. Don't rush in.
It's going to take time.
That's right.
That's so important, to remind everybody about that. Let's talk about the legal rights that beneficiaries have.
Okay. So as I was saying before, beneficiaries don't really have legal rights unless there's no will. If there's a will and the will is properly drawn and executed, so it has to be valid, the will's going to control who receives the assets. If there's no will, then the intestacy laws come in and we have a pecking order. Basically, closest living heirs would be entitled to inherit.
Okay. What about, I know everybody's concerned, you get an inheritance and what's going to happen tax-wise with this?
Right. So let's look at some of the tax issues here. First is that the good news is you receive what's called a step-up in basis on assets, which means that even though your loved one may have bought an asset for $100,000, if it's worth $500,000, you're not going to have a capital gains tax when you sell it because of the step-up in basis will bring it up to the $500,000. Understand inherited retirement accounts are going to be subject to income tax. So you got to build that into your thinking. And there's a federal tax laws, estate and gift tax laws, but there's also state laws. There are 17 states that have an estate tax or an inheritance tax. So you're going to get the net amount if there are any estate taxes owed.
Okay. Let's talk about maybe some strategies that,
Sure.
just to maybe minimize the tax impact.
Well, yeah, to minimize the tax impact, for example, a good quick example is a retirement account. Instead of taking it out all at one time and paying the tax on it, and maybe at a higher tax rate, take it over a number of years. So by breaking it out, you can push yourself into lower tax brackets. Also, the deferral of the tax allows that asset to grow faster.
Okay.
And it'll be worth more money.
Now, what happens if, the estate has debts or liabilities?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There may be a mortgage. There may be credit card debt. So typically, the estate will, through the executor, will pay off the debts before the inheritance is paid out. So that's the good news.
Mm-hmm.
Couple exceptions. It might be a mortgage on a house or a loan on a car. So you got to be aware that if you're inheriting the house, you're inheriting the mortgage, perhaps, if it's not getting paid off up front. So you need to be mindful that there could be some debt attached to it. You do have a right to disclaim, which means I don't want to take that asset because I don't want to have that debt. So that's an option, but you have to do it legally, and there are certain procedures you have to follow. Oh, wow. If the estate has more debt than the assets are worth, then the estate is insolvent, and the beneficiaries are never personally liable.
Oh.
So that's the good news. Never personally liable.
Okay, financial steps that you would recommend for somebody when they've just received inheritance. What should they do?
Right. First thing is take what I call a decision sabbatical. All right, how do you like that? Don't rush off and start spending all this money right away. Maybe you want to get a financial advisor involved, which would be a good step. Prioritize debt. So if you have these assets that you inherit and you've got high interest loans like credit card loans, pay them off. Pay them off. Take care of them. That way you have a better cash flow and more financial stability. And then invest those assets that you're not spending. Get the financial advisor involved. Yeah. And then update your estate plan, your will or trust. You may need to update it because now you have assets you didn't have before. And if something happens to you, you need to control where those assets go.
Exactly. You know what? This is impacting so many of our viewers. As always, where can they go for more help, more advice?
Well,
our
firm, Russo Law Group, is always available to help families. VJRussoLaw.com is our website. We have lots of resources on there, and you can download for free. We have a number of guides that'll help explain the things we talk about on our show.
That's great. It's such important information. We appreciate all the mornings you come in and educate us.
Happy to do it.